do it.
It started from the very beginning, and we had but just 4 years later, our anticipated guests are 30,000 for this weekend. When we started it, it was all about the fans.
I also want to say that one of the things that we don't talk about too often, but that you guys are all doing by showing up here is supporting small businesses, and I think that that's really important in this day and age. So thank you for that. And the other thing I need to do is a shout out to our white bats who just rock. They are the best crew you could ever want. And let's have a ball, shall we?
Hello, spooky kids! Happy Halloween, Long Beach! You guys ready to go to church? All right. Thank you guys so much for showing up. You know, this is a big movement that you guys are part of. This is your family. This is your community. This is homecoming, is it not? Yeah. Has anybody been on the Hall of Shadows yet? Have you done that yet? Do you approve? That show floor, you can bring your shopping money? 350 vendors out there. You're gonna hit every one of those booths, aren't you? All right. And I guess you want to see something about the Haunted Mansion this weekend, right? There's an amazing show for you. Not just this panel, the entire weekend. You guys are gonna have a blast. We hope to see you tonight at the Great British Gala. All right. Doug Barnes is ready to take the stage and drop the most amazing panel. One of the most amazing panels we've ever had. I have severe panel envy right now. I'm telling Doug I'm going to sit on the edge of the stage and not leave for the next hour. That's how much I love this. You guys ready for some Haunted Mansion goodness? Let's do this, Midsummer Street.
Going live right now. Please share the footage on YouTube. I am at a panel about for the fifth. I'm at a panel celebrating the 50th anniversary of Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. I am at a panel from YouTube.
Green ghosts come out to social. So hurry back, we would like your company. Hurry back. 50 years ago next week, the most anticipated attraction in Disneyland's history opened to a curious public. The Haunted Mansion became an instant favorite, and for the last 5 most regard. Today, we celebrate the Haunted Mansion. Don Hahn, engineering legend Tony Baxter, Haunted Mansion Tanya Norris,
I'm very happy to be here with you guys. This is a to get into it, of course. 50 years Haunted Mansion Disneyland, and this is me with my sister Rebecca. So this is when I was innocent, easy go that visit. I remember a head and a ball talking to me. And just down in my seat. And then I remembered a giant eyeball staring at me. Like, okay, I don't know if I need to do Disneyland ever again. But I decided that facing my fears. So I'm like, I'm gonna test out Haunted Mansion. We're also here for this little ride that opened up called Star 2020. Went into the attic, we went into the graveyard, and then we saw ourselves in mirrors, and we were done. And I was thinking, that was awesome. I'm so happy I got to 7. It's just a bunch of cubicles. We have headphones to listen to music and podcasts, and I was really getting into podcasts at that time. I was listening to a podcast called Window to the Magic. And they were, there you go, we got 3 Paul fans over here. That's awesome. All right. So, thinking that I was insane and fabricating things in my mind for 25 years, all came to a halt right at the moment when they started playing it up. That was really there. And the whole point of this story is to say that I don't remember that at all. I called them out. I'm like, do you remember that? And they're like, no. But Bob, so let's go ahead and start about the Doom buggies a little bit. Did this vehicle actually start with Monsanto's Adventure Through Inner Space, or did it start with the Haunted Mansion?
Everybody thinks the Omnimotor started in the Haunted Mansion. That was stolen from the Voyage to Inner Space, which was 2 years earlier. But the big difference was we found out
I worked that right. That explains so much. Yeah.
Well, I was wondering, since you were there when they needed it, what was the conversation that said, let's get the Omnimover in to be the Doom buggy for the
Okay, if some of you saw 2 other attractions that had a continuous line of vehicles, that appealed to me from a good standpoint. If you have a chain of vehicles, you can't have a collision, so you don't have an anti-collision system. Okay, we got that one done. If the vehicles are following one another fairly sitting talking to John Hench, and he happened to have a candied apple sitting on his desk, and I have some line runs on a track, but instead of putting the body on the vehicle rigidly, I could put it where I could turn it, and I could lean forward and lean back, and this will give the art directors and the storytellers a chance to direct the audience into each scene. And it will also save you time. As you turn from one scene to the other, you can turn quickly and have it less pilot at the time. And there was a thing called navigational aid called Omni Range. I says, John, this is the Omnimover. So you gotta watch out what you call your first sketch, because you got stuck and we never got a chance to give it a proper name. So sorry, but that's how it developed. The writers on the problem, so bang, the Haunted Mansion would have been sitting there kind of dormant for years, figuring out how to do it. They said, we got it, we got these. Well, the Doom Buggies came to life.
There you go. That's what many of us from here. And Tony,
Oh, yeah, because for about 8 of those younger years, it was not open.
Yeah.
Construction work down below the train. There are doors. If you look closely, it's got an exit sign on it. That goes outside into the rear of Disneyland. It also is an entry for an employee that's taking his break and going over. Anyway, this is kind of interesting, the shot here, because Steve Davidson had come up with the idea of putting a Christmas overlay on. And he brought me, I was the head of the park design group there, and he brought me in to show it to me. And it was just the night before Christmas in the Haunted Mansion. And of course, he was in there for the first week that I wrote it. And I actually had a little car. It was actually a week, and I think a little video showed. So at one of the Comic Cons, he announced, I'm going to do this Haunted Mansion movie again, the Hat Coast, and I really think John Gritz did an incredible job of staging that and everything, and it works really, really well. So that was that aspect. And I don't know if you want to go on to Phantom Manor yet.
Oh, there's plenty to talk about. Yeah, we'll bring up. I just remembered it was a few years ago. I remember you let me hold that card.
Yeah.
And my hands started shaking with this legendary card, so I had to give it back to you really quick.
For me, it was the opposite. I was like, so thrilled when a really bad 8mm movie showed up with somebody that actually captured this guy in there. So
yeah. Well, obviously you have been inspired. You've done a few attractions since then that are inspired by the Haunted.
Oh yeah. It was interesting when we went to Paris. We did a lot of research about the Europeans and the French specific, and it turned out that they got funny. They loved Jerry Lewis, and he's just a national hero over there.
Of course.
They also love scary. I mean, the Pierre Lachaise Cemetery. For those of you that love Gothic cemeteries, a must. You must go there before you die, or go there after you die.
I'll be there.
It was an inspiration for Phantom of the Opera. Anyway, but they don't get scary funny. And that was the weird thing, because Mark favored the very comical things, and Claude Coates, who had ordered a screening of the movie The Haunting by Robert Wise. If you haven't seen it, it's the 1961, not the newer one from DreamWorks, but they watched that over and over again, and you can clearly see the doors in the haunted hallway pulsing and everything. That's from that movie, as is the wallpaper patterns that come to life. So there was a schism between Mark and Claude preferring more frightening and Mark liking humor. And so when we did Paris, we had the decision to make. Are we going to go humorous and keep it pure to that, or go scary? And I think we came down a little bit more scary on it, and they just redid it. I'm gonna pitch something here. This great book just came out 3 days ago, just on Phantom Manor, and the redo of the ride is extraordinary, and they've even strengthened the story. A young, beautiful thing to an aging corpse at the end of it. It just didn't get here in time. But yeah, so it's just been redone. If you haven't seen it.
Congratulations on that.
It was one of the younger then. But it was, yeah, it was hollow ground. I mean, what you said is we owned, greenlit were Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion. And so Rob Minkoff, who I'd done Lion King with, and I had worked together, and I love Rob. And he's going to be here later tonight, actually, for a screening of Haunted Mansion. And we started working on it, and we started by going over to Imagineering, going through the library and talking to anybody that we could talk to who had worked on it, and looking at the kind of mythology behind it, the storytelling behind it. And then the coolest thing that I possibly have ever done in my life at Disney is we went to the park at about 6 o'clock one morning and turned the lights on the attraction and walked through it. And it was amazing and kind of humbling, because it is, for me anyway, it was kind of a humble setting. You look behind the scenes and it's plywood. Huge fan of Disney, and we built the whole mansion. We thought we can't really do this in an existing mansion, so we built it in sound stages. So everything on the screen in that film is on sound stages, except for the exterior, which we built on a ranch out in Santa Clarita. So if you live out in the Santa Clarita Valley, the Haunted Mansion lives out there too, or lived out there. So then we spent 3 months.
So obviously it's such an important piece of Disney's history, because they wanted to make a movie out of that, like they did with Pirates of the Caribbean. One was absolutely amazing. And then, yeah, you had a great job on Haunted Mansion. You guys make sure if you're at the
For Haunted Mansion. And Eddie Murphy's last movie was Pluto Nash, which was a great movie. Really strives incredibly hard to make these movies, and we had people like Rick Baker, who's an amazing guy. So part of the fun for me was just hanging out with people like Rick and our composer and some more special effects guys, just to be able to kind of find out how they approach their stagecraft to turn it into this film. So it was great experience.
I just want to say those sets were incredible. And
Hope springs eternal. You try to make good movies, and sometimes they win, and sometimes they win less. There's so much I could say. The stairway, though, in Gracie Mansion, the stairway, we ended up down to Walt Disney World.
Awesome. Right on. Well, Tom.
Oh, yeah, there's a shot right there. This is from the Dick Green collection, who was one of the architects in the later part of the ruling on the gates of the Haunted Mansion back in the 60s, and wondering when it was going to open. At least, I grew up in Orange County, and there were Disney executives who, lived around the neighborhood and whatever, and I think that might have had something to do, with kids or whatever. But I think that was part of the whole mystique. Is it really going to open or not?
But being a sneaky kid, if you rode the train, see that a girder area? Yeah.
So fast forward to the end of the 70s, and I actually get a job at Walt Disney Imagineering, opportunity, and stuff. So I am now retired, and I am going to do a book eventually on the archaeology of Disneyland, and my whole thing is about her. Those were two. But why did that persist? I always thought that was really interesting. That it was so, and you know, but obviously the elevators, parade break area for the parade. It's where the parade went. Fantasy on Parade was that, well, if you see my presentation tomorrow, you'll find out a little bit more about this shot. It's interesting. This is the graveyard, it's referred to as the South Graveyard, and this was originally going to be one of the exits to the attraction. And here is Dave Jacobs, who you may remember, and he's standing in front of one of the openings that's just right now coming up out of the Haunted Mansion. You were going to exit. You're going to have to find your way out in some sort of maze-like thing before that. And as we were leaving Disneyland, this is 1969, April 69, because it was, you know, a birthday would be, and it was still a skeleton of a building. And I'm like, oh, they're finally maybe going to do the haunted for early April. And they just worked.
I mean, sure, it would last for Walt Disney World.
Right. Now this is the north on some of the websites, you know, that kind of to one for Mary Poppins was asked by Walt to work on this. And wanted it to open in '63. They were planning for it to open in '63. Yale Bracy was purchasing props. They were buying, Lucas had done layouts for it. And even Mapo started engineering some of the machinery that eventually ended up in the show. Now, whether they built the machine more, and I hope someday to get this into a book about not just the Haunted Mansion, but about the archaeology of Disneyland in general. It's going to have to wait because I'm doing another book before it that is a little bit more urgent. That will trace the original Imagineers, track down
Archaeology of Haunted Mansion presentation tomorrow at 4?
Tomorrow at 4.
Which stage?
I don't know. You tell me.
One of these.
I'll dive into this a little bit more, into the history. My friend decided to do this house in this location, not the Ken Anderson version of it.
We have here. So
Enough graveyards. Just like, no, this is with Disney. It's a 1880s. It's based in New Orleans. Sounds really up your alley. So I was like, oh, all right. I've heard of Walt Disney. So on Main Street, we went to one of the areas we walked off, and I think we walked. I was interviewed on the Wednesday, and I didn't think I stood any chance at all of being employed because there were a great many very sophisticated younger people or young people with great portfolios and that was it. I didn't have any great sketches. So I had a second interview on the Thursday for the films, but he had also had a hand in some of the design for Disneyland. The husband of Sharon was my immediate boss, and then John Hench was about that. And Dorothea Redmond, whom I'm sure most of you have heard, absolutely incredible artist. Dorothy and I worked very closely, and I had, before I went to work at WED, I had done architectural renderings. But as soon as it's appearing on the paper, I said, that's the end of my sketches, forget it. I didn't do any other. And so that's how I happened to go to WED. And at that time, I think there were 29 employees. And then it split. Wonderful things about Walt as a genius was his timing for various events to happen, so that the public were always kept in suspense. And he said, go ahead. And that's when we got involved with Haunted Mansion. And I was like, some of these gentlemen, they were doing it for fun. I was doing it as a job. I got $125 a week. And but it was the most interesting time to be with Walt Disney, his wife Lily, his brother was the wonderful landscape designer for so much of Disneyland. In New Orleans, outside, in front of the Gulf Stream, which we were about to board, and as you see, we dressed formally. I mean, to work. I would never, well, I don't even know a pair now. I don't own any jeans, but I would never regret going to work in jeans. And we were very formally dressed. And from New Orleans, we went to Florida. It was a hole in the ground. It was called Project X. And Bill Martin had, New York for the World Fair. And then we go to Walt. I had not, we'll go back to the plane. So every meal on that trip, when the waiter or waitress would come along and ask for Lily turned to him and she said, oh, Walt, breakfast in the hotel was on, and we would talk about what I had done the day before, because I was going to every antique shop in the Bookery in the Old Town to buy and search out antiques for New Orleans Square and the shops there, and also for the Top 33. And I would report and I'd show photographs of Walt. And then we would go for lunch and dinner to a different restaurant. So he would introduce me to the cuisine of New Orleans. In New York, he insisted that the chauffeur drive a different way, different route every day. Come in the back door, WED, look at the things on my desk and say, what are you spending my money on today? And I always like that, and you walk and wander. With Lily and Diane, I did the interiors, or helped Diane and Ron when they bought their ranch out in the valley. And then Bob and Sharon, I did antique shopping, who had a great sense of humor, sweet lady. And it was a very wonderful time. At the same time, when I see people saying, well, I did this and I did that, and all these names and things, we did it as a team. And our mantra was to have details. Changes. I was saddened to see, just because of my fond memories, that some of the things that I did in the Haunted Mansion had totally changed. I remember buying the wallpaper, the purple wallpaper. Now, there's a mystery there that still has to be discovered. But I remember bat ghosts, totally different, but still same color and the same intent. But that's the kind of things that were changed. Much has changed, and it has to, things wear out. Everybody has their own idea, but hopefully they have kept authenticity and detail and cleanliness as the three things that Walt wanted.
So, listening to your story, Tanya, and I imagine this goes for many people, especially here on this panel. You know, as years continue to go on and you continue to run, any one of you.
Oh, well, that's simple. Nobody messes with my mover. Didn't appreciate. You think normally a project starts, goes, opens, and all this concrete, all this earth moving and everything, and then late into the job, they adopt my all that work,
Right.
and somebody had a bright idea to do.
See in there today, like the floating candelabra, I found a whole series of drawings, of mechanical drawings for.
Oh, that's right. The machine shop in those days wanted to do that. In fact, what's also interesting, everybody asks the question, why did the Haunted Mansion get built so soon, but there was no attraction, no ride until many years later? Well, we had a